Kettle black is all I'm saying.
Ooh. The pot calling the kettle black. Huh.
Whoa. That was some tea. That was shade. That was major shade.
Pot calling the kettle black. So, I mean, you're not insinuating that
he's
50
gay?
Cent is...
Have you ever wondered if two people can be drawn to each other's drama more than to each other's hearts? That's exactly what's happening with 50 Cent and Vivica A. Fox. Their story has been told a million times, yet it feels like it never stops evolving. Even after 2 decades, the flames of their relationship seem to spark up every time one of them so much as breathes the other's name. It's like watching a fire that refuses to die, fueled by misunderstandings, old grudges, and the occasional internet troll session. What makes their roller coaster so fascinating is how quickly they swing from flirtatious teasing to savage takedowns. One moment, fans suspect they might be warming up to each other again. The next, they're at each other's throats, trading barbs on social media and spilling deeply personal secrets.
With you, girl, would you ever think about getting back together with Mr. Curtis Jackson if he came instead?
Well, Ben and Jen did it again. Why not?
And let's be real, nobody trolls like 50 Cent, except perhaps Vivica. Because when she fires back, she doesn't hold anything back. Their latest clash is no exception, and it's got everyone talking. Is it about lingering sparks, or is this just two people addicted to drama? Over the next few minutes, prepare to explore the shocking events that turned a fairy tale fling into one of hip-hop's most heated feuds. We'll dive into surprising BBL rumors, relentless social media roasts, and eyebrow-raising accusations that might leave you questioning everything. Let's begin. Vivica A. Fox has always been praised for her timeless beauty and energy that seems to defy age. Whether you first saw her in blockbusters like Independence Day or Kill Bill, there's no denying her screen presence.
Be honest.
Okay, I ain't calling no more.
Oh, really?
I have to stop calling.
Really?
Well, what happened?
She told you to stop calling?
Nah, I stopped calling. I feel like her people were taking advantage of the situation as far as her publicist.
That's why fans across social media were stunned when she stepped out, flaunting a newly enhanced figure. Some admired her bold decision, while others questioned why a woman known for her natural glow would opt for a surgical transformation so late in her career. While it's no secret that the entertainment industry can be harsh, particularly about aging, Vivica had rarely entertained the idea of openly discussing cosmetic enhancements. So when she appeared in Houston, promoting her hair brand with a striking new shape, the buzz was immediate. Some fans celebrated her confidence. She looks incredible, and if she's happy, that's all that matters. Others worried she might be risking her health.
Fitty, I gotta tell you something. Last time Vivica A. Fox was here.
I know.
Dude,
I was
she
here.
Blew up Twitter.
I wasn't
you were
even
here.
on the show.
Why, what
I was
happened?
here.
She was on
She
50.
just put me on the show.
She put you on the show.
That's what happens when you get older in Hollywood and you gotta...
Surgeries can be dangerous at her age, they cautioned, citing the well-documented risks associated with procedures like a BBL. The chatter about Vivica's body took a particularly spicy turn when 50 Cent decided to chime in. Initially, his comments seemed playful, even a bit flirtatious. He hinted that he found her new figure intriguing, so much so that fans began to wonder if they might be seeing the beginning of a reconciliation. But the warmth didn't last. Just as fans started imagining a tender reunion of these old flames, 50 swerved without warning and launched a social media dig aimed straight at Vivica's surgical enhancements.
Oh, my Lord, please. What? Girl, we gotta talk after this episode is
Wait,
over.
Vivica A. Fox, what are you insinuating?
Well, I mean,
He gave you...
no, he's not. I mean,
And that set the tone for what came next. Despite the initial hint of approval, 50's pivot to public mockery reignited an old feud, and Vivica wasn't about to back down quietly. Almost overnight, 50 Cent's playful remarks morphed into full-on trolling. He shared a video clip where Vivica's appearance looked drastically different from the polished photos she'd posted online. Of course, the internet is quick to notice any discrepancy between a person's social media feed and unfiltered reality, and 50 made sure all eyes were on that gap. Some spectators insisted he was just being his usual mischievous self, stirring up drama for a laugh. But others saw it as malicious. Why focus on showing unflattering angles if you don't have bad intentions?
They were using you for publicity.
Good for you. Nah, but it couldn't have been using me for publicity because then,
In a way, you're the hottest thing out there.
Yeah, but in the then we wouldn't have been together intimately.
Whatever his true motive, the stunt pulled Vivica back into the spotlight, this time as the butt of online jokes. People compared screenshots of her in videos to the glossy, curated images she'd shared. The memes practically created themselves. What many don't understand is that celebrities live two versions of themselves, the real person and the social media persona. Filters, angles, and editing have become standard, so Vivica isn't doing anything drastically different from a million other stars. But 50 Cent knew how to push the internet's buttons, and the reaction was as frenzied as ever. This backhanded attack felt deeply personal to Vivica. She'd once seen a softer side to him, a side that gifted her flowers and planned romantic surprises. Now, watching him go out of his way to shame her body for clout or laughs was infuriating. Yet this wasn't a random internet feud. These two share a complicated past that has more than once led them into chaotic territory. To understand why Vivica's so deeply affected, we have to rewind to the early 2000s when these two first locked eyes.
What happened?
I don't know. Andy, tell her.
She basically was insinuating that Fiddy is on my team.
Yeah, that's what she was.
That he's gay.
Yes, yes. What would...
I didn't know. Look, I said to myself personally, Andy, I said on Instagram too, I said, oh no, because I let her lick my ass, she thinks I'm gay.
The moment 50 Cent saw Vivica A. Fox at the BET Awards, he was smitten. In multiple interviews, he openly confessed she was breathtaking. Soon after, they let the world know they were officially together, strolling down the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards red carpet, hand in hand, looking every inch the it couple. At the time, both were at the top of their games. 50 Cent had just exploded onto the rap scene with Get Rich or Die Tryin', a record so monumental it took hip-hop by storm and sold millions worldwide. Vivica, meanwhile, was already established in Hollywood. She delivered standout performances in Independence Day, Set It Off, Soul Food, and Kill Bill. To fans, they seemed like a Hollywood power duo destined to become an iconic pair. But behind the scenes, the story was more complicated. Their age gap was significant. Vivica was in her late 30s, while 50 was hovering around his late 20s. And while Vivica was ready for a mature, stable partnership, 50 was still navigating an explosive career upswing filled with paparazzi, controversies, and a thirst for nonstop excitement. In public, they looked like the definition of relationship goals. In private, they wrestled with vastly different outlooks on fame and love. Still, there were flickers of hope. Vivica recalls a grand romantic gesture on her birthday, describing how 50 filled her entire home with Casablanca lilies and gardenias. People close to them say there was talk of an engagement ring, allegedly a whopping 12-carat diamond that 50 carried around at one point. For a brief moment, fans and friends thought their relationship might truly be the real deal.
Had a great time, but he's just seems like he's got something that's not quite clear.
But what started like a fairy tale soon morphed into a spectacle of gossip and fiery drama, shattering whatever illusions of harmony they once shared. Fame can be brutal, especially when a relationship plays out under constant scrutiny. Overnight, Vivica and 50's love affair seemed to collapse under the weight of public curiosity. One of the biggest blows came when Vivica discovered she was single, not through a private conversation, but via a radio broadcast. Imagine waking up, flipping on the radio, and hearing your boyfriend announce the breakup to the world before you've even had coffee. That's exactly what happened to Vivica. 50 Cent would later claim he felt she was using him for publicity. Perhaps he resented seeing tabloids focus on their romance more than his music, or maybe he simply wasn't prepared for the wave of attention. Whatever the case, his public statements insisting Vivica took advantage of his fame cut her deeply. She'd been a superstar in her own right long before 50's debut, so his accusations felt both insulting and nonsensical, but he refused to let it go. And interviews from that era show him repeatedly leaning on the narrative that she latched onto him for clout. Vivica felt blindsided and humiliated. To add insult to injury, 50 started dropping thinly veiled references to the breakup in his music. In tracks like Get in My Car, he rapped about a woman he led on, claiming she thought she was wifey material but ultimately meant nothing to him. People read between the lines and saw the clear shot at Vivica. It stung because just months earlier, they'd been rumored to be nearly engaged. Now, he was mocking her heartbreak for the entire world to hear. Yet for every jab 50 threw, Vivica made sure she had a response at the ready, beginning a vicious cycle of public feuds that would last for years. Following their split, it seemed like 50 and Vivica couldn't avoid each other's throats for long. Whenever one of them had a new project, the other found a way to chime in with sly remarks or outright insults. The tension reached a fever pitch when 50 Cent criticized the show Empire, where Vivica had a recurring role, claiming its ratings declined because of too much gay stuff and celebrity gimmicks. Social media erupted with fans accusing him of insensitivity and bigotry. Vivica didn't skip a beat. In a now infamous interview, she hinted that his hostility toward gay storylines might reflect something he was struggling with personally. She alluded to an old Vibe cover featuring 50 and Soulja Boy, insinuating there was more than just a bromance going on. The internet collectively gasped, and 50 fired back with unfiltered rage. He resorted to highly personal insults, claiming she was just bitter and even referencing intimate details about their relationship, details that most exes would keep private forever.
That's the problem. That's the problem. You let someone lick your ass and look what happens.
I'm sorry, I'll never do it again.
You're saying don't let anybody lick your ass.
Yeah, no one like that. No one that'll go on television and say something crazy. Can I ask you a question?
From that point on, every public statement felt like a fresh reason to lob another grenade. Whenever Vivica landed a high-profile gig or interview, 50 would pop up with a provocative comment. When 50 dropped new music or business ventures, Vivica found opportunities to deliver snappy comebacks. The feud became so entrenched in the pop culture landscape that many people forgot they'd once been genuinely in love. Instead, they became known as ex-lovers, who turned into sworn adversaries, a pair that, for better or worse, always found ways to keep each other relevant. Now, with Vivica's new transformation and 50's relentless trolling, the stage is set for yet another showdown, one that might be more explosive than anything we've seen before. While some celebrities might ignore online shade or hire PR teams to issue bland statements, Vivica is not that person. She's never been timid about standing her ground, especially with 50 Cent. According to insiders, she's warning him to watch his mouth before she unveils information that could shake his tough guy persona. Whether it's old relationship secrets or brand new stories she's never told, nobody can say for sure. But knowing their history, it's likely she's holding on to some pretty potent ammunition. Friends close to Vivica suggest she's reached a point of exhaustion. She doesn't want to be dragged into drama she didn't start. Still, she refuses to let 50 belittle her. Part of her sees him as the same man who once filled her home with flowers, and it confuses her that he can also be so vindictive. She can forgive but not forget, and if he's going to keep ridiculing her new body, she has no problem releasing every bit of dirt she's got. 50, for his part, probably doesn't realize how far Vivica is willing to take this. After all, he's used to being the aggressor, the one who lands the first punch, so to speak.
She was saying your cover with Soulja Boy
Here's the
of
thing.
that Vibe
Let me just say
magazine
this,
cover.
and I'm not
this?
bashing Vivica at all because I did work with it.
But Vivica has shown time and again that she's unafraid of confrontation, especially when it comes to protecting her image. She knows how to command an audience. She's been doing it for decades on the big screen. And if she decides to turn that spotlight on 50's skeletons, the outcome could be unforgettable. Yet even with all the tension, some fans can't shake the feeling that beneath their scathing words is a complicated mix of unresolved feelings and mutual fascination. So where do these ex-lovers stand after all these years of back and forth hostility? If you ask the rumor mill, the story changes every week. Some insiders believe the two are stuck in a cycle they can't break. One stirs the pot, the other reacts, and each time the conflict feels more heated. Others speculate there might still be lingering sparks of attraction, masked by years of bitterness and public spats. Fans saw a glimpse of possible reconciliation when 50 Cent initially complimented Vivica's new figure, before he switched gears and turned it into a trolling campaign. A handful of social media sleuths pointed out that if he truly didn't care anymore, he wouldn't waste so much energy talking about her, or monitoring her appearance. But it's also possible that 50 Cent simply thrives on controversy and attention, and Vivica is a convenient target because their history garners clicks. Vivica, for her part, might be past romantic notions. Some close to her suspect that any stray comment about spinning the block with 50 was more playful than real. She might still be stung by their chaotic breakup and all the disrespect that followed. Trust isn't easily rebuilt, especially when it's been chipped away so publicly. If 50 is hoping to resurrect their old bond, he has a strange way of showing it. And if Vivica truly wants him out of her life, responding to his jabs might only feed the cycle. As if all that wasn't enough, they've dropped hints that there may be even deeper secrets, ones that could completely change the narrative if revealed. The saga of 50 Cent and Vivica A. Fox is a masterclass in how love can turn into loathing, and how a public feud can persist for years, fueled by mutual stubbornness. Once upon a time, they were the picture of a glamorous couple strolling red carpets, whispering sweet nothings. Now they're practically war generals on social media, each trying to land the next destructive blow. Yet for all the drama, there's a lingering question. Is this truly just about petty insults and social media clout, or does some part of them still feel that old spark? Because no matter how many times they turn each other into headlines, they keep coming back to the same battlefield, as if neither can quite let the other go. Perhaps they're drawn to the intensity they once shared, or maybe they're too proud to admit they care enough to hate so passionately. One thing is certain. With Vivica's new look and 50's penchant for riling people up, the stage is set for the next chapter in a never-ending feud. And if Vivica follows through on her threat to spill more of 50's secrets, we might see the toughest man in hip-hop put on the defensive like never before. Will that finally shut down the conflict, or will it be the match that ignites a whole new level of chaos? Only time will tell. In the meantime, all we can do is watch the sparks fly and wonder what might happen if these two ever decide to call a truce, or, against all odds, give each other one more chance.